Hi, welcome to the TDC live stream. This is Ali Turcott. I'm one of the facilitators here at the Disability Channel. I help run some of our programs. You are used to seeing Jay in this space, but today we have a bit of a surprise because today I have an entire studio full of eager students who are really looking forward to testing out their interview skills, and we're really looking forward to you checking us out and joining us for that adventure. I have here Vince Campbell, who has kindly decided to join us, and he's a really great guy, and we're really excited to have him. And these guys have been working really hard to come up with some really great questions to ask. Hi, Vince.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Thanks for having me on here.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're really excited to see you. How are things where you're at?
Wonderful. I live in the country, so there's lots of greens. The garden's growing. The pets are happy, so I can't complain. The sun's shining.
So good summer so far?
Yes, great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. As I mentioned, we've got a room full of eager students here, and we're all really excited to hear from you. So I just wondered if you could take some time and maybe introduce yourself a little bit, talk a little bit about what you do and where you're coming from.
Sure, I can do that. I'm Vince Campbell. I'm from the east coast of Canada, Spring Hill, Nova Scotia. I'm a Canadian Armed Forces veteran. After the military, I became a correctional officer in Toronto. And from there on, right now I'm retired, just working with veterans programs. I'm part of Veterans for Healing, which basically is an organization that takes veterans and provides wellness, songwriting, and a path to get all their veterans affairs and medical information in order. So we have a fairly large team of veterans and also those that volunteer to make a difference. We just signed approximately about 200 veterans up to our program since December, I believe, somewhere around that. So everything's full-fledged ahead. This summer in August, we have our third veteran songwriting camp in Inverness, Nova Scotia, Cape Breton. So there'll be 6 veteran songwriters writing the song for the first time. And it will be recorded professionally and it'll be hopefully on the radio, on Bandcamp, and all streaming platforms.
Amazing. So veterans, wellness, and songwriting, that's a really interesting trifecta. Could you tell us a little bit more about like how you got there or what sort of inspired that?
For me personally, I've struggled with depression, anxiety, PTSD, fibromyalgia, autoimmune disease, a whole whack of different things for probably since I was in corrections, after corrections when a lot of things started. And, it's been a struggle to get your wellness in check. So we do a lot of different things. You try different medications, you try different wellness things, there are vitamins. And along this journey, I've always played music all my life. But it wasn't until I received 2 hearing aids that I could actually hear and play properly. It was like probably about 50% hearing loss. So I couldn't hear the birds chirp, couldn't hear the leaves crackle. But when I got these, it was like playing the guitar, the music, everything was, I could get harmonies, and that's kind of where it started. So I tried songwriting all my life, but songs weren't even worthwhile to even listen to. And all of a sudden, I don't know, you could call it awakening of some type. I was in the hospital for 6 weeks. Stouffville hospital in the mental health ward, and that's kind of a time when things in my life started to change, and I decided to focus on natural wellness and music and songwriting. So I started writing songs, and they started to come together better. And I mean, it sounded, as you're new with anything, they don't sound that great. And I got connected with some songwriting groups and learned the structure of writing songs, and did some co-writing, and that's part of my wellness. It's not so much to be out there to be famous or write hit songs. It takes me away to another place when I'm writing a song, like reading a book or doing a puzzle. It's creative, which I'm a creative person, and it's really is an incredible tool. I think everybody should have, or at least try to use. If you can play an instrument, I know people that don't play any instruments, but are incredible songwriters. So it doesn't matter who you are, give it a try. If you can write a little bit of poetry or whatever, make things rhyme, then it's life. For me, it's life changing. As you can see now, we have veterans writing songs being recorded professionally share stories from combat or just within life, coming out in a song. It's really magical. There's tears shed, and there's like a light that goes off. Realize, you're on the right track with the right people, and that's the key, is being on track with the right people, the right program, at the right time in your life. You have to be ready to heal. As a lot of us, we're really stubborn and say, well, I'm okay, I'm good. But let's be humble and realize we all have some issues. Some of them we need help from outside, but we really have to work on them every day.
Right, right. Well said. So you mentioned sort of finding the right people, and you've sort of focused a lot of your energy and attention on specifically on helping veterans, because as you mentioned, it can be difficult to sort of open up, and
Oh,
the complicated things that you have to deal with, and adjusting that you have to do. What is it that inspired you to reach for veterans?
that's a great question. Being a veteran myself, my brother is an Afghanistan veteran. He did 2 tours in Afghanistan. He lives outside of Trenton. My father's a Korean veteran, and my brother, who has passed, he was a Canadian Armed Forces veteran. So right to the family, I was brought up with my dad cutting my hair, and everything was military. So it's like embedded right into me. And I realized, the need out there for help. And we have over 5,000 homeless veterans just in Ontario alone in Canada, over 5,000, which is absolutely insane. Not counting just the regular homeless people with mental illness and different disorders. Some of them have lost their homes. So many need help. If we treat everybody the same, I think we can have success. Awareness is key to let people truly know what is going on, not to cover it up and sugarcoat it. People are struggling. People are taking their lives. We had one of our veterans take his life in September past, and he was on our first song camp. He wrote one of the songs of the 6 veterans. That's hard. It's devastating, but we'll continue to move forward and celebrate his life in what we do every day. And you can't let bumps in the road get you down and stop you from your goals and your dreams. You have to persevere and just move ahead. Doesn't matter what happens in your life. Take it as a learning lesson and move forward. But having supports are so important. So important. Just to make a phone call sometimes when you're just not right can change your whole day. So we promote having a wellness toolbox, which is an imaginary toolbox. It has our yoga in it. It maybe has our songwriting in it. It has, maybe contact lists. If you're having a bad day, you can contact somebody. Whatever works for you to make your day better, you'll pull it out of there and use it. Some days, not every day. Some days you won't have to do anything. It'll be a great day. But otherwise, your wellness is on top of the list for everything pretty well. Work on that, and you have to be sincere about it and really commit to it every day. From the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed at night.
That is such great advice, and I think that it can be used across all walk of life for anyone who's
Yes, yeah.
mental health. But I would like to say I'm sorry for your loss. That sounds like, it sounds like you're doing a lot of good work for a very vulnerable population. So I'd like to thank you for that. Firstly, we're going to thank you for your service, and thank you for what you do in our messages right now. So I'd like to take a minute to say thank you, and I'm sorry for your loss. And also, we have some students here who are very interested in speaking to veterans and to people who have experiences with those sort of mental health challenges. So I would like to throw to one of our students right now. He's got some questions about your music and about your experiences with mental health. Jay
Awesome.
Draper?
Hi, Vince.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. I missed your name there, sorry.
Jay. Like the
Shay?
letter. Yeah, like the letter.
Awesome.
First of all, thank you for your service, and sorry for your loss as well, I'd like to say.
Thank you.
I am a musician and a songwriter as well, so it's always great to meet fellow creators. So I guess my main question would be, what is it for you about the songwriting process that you find helps you mentally, as well as other people and other veterans? Is it more like a catharsis, like expressing your past traumas and experiences through the lyrics and the music, or is it more of just a something that helps you focus your energy and you can be proud about, or is it a combination or different things?
That's a great question, and I'd have to say songwriting is a spiritual journey. In my case, sometimes I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and the lyrics will come to my head. Like one song I wrote, one of the first ones is called "Find Your Sunshine," and I wrote it with a rocker out in Saskatchewan, Reggie Storm, and I had the lyrics ready. I sent it out to him at 6:30 in the morning, and that song's on Spotify now.
Right.
He put the music to it, but it's "Find Your Sunshine." It's find, what makes you happy. So a lot of the songs have a message, and a good friend of mine, Chris Burkett, who is involved with the Disability Channel, and Jay's interviewed him a few times. He's quite spiritual also. And these songs come from, above. That's a message for someone or for many, or something for you personal, for your journey to heal. I've been fortunate to write songs with people that were dying of cancer. I've written one for a minister of a church that was terminal with cancer, and he got to listen to the song. He probably lasted for about 3 months. Another one was a friend of mine. I wrote a song for his mom who was terminal with cancer, and what I do is I get them to just send details about that individual, and I just write them into the lyrics of the song, and it just kind of comes through and it's kind of a magical thing. So that one song
inspiration is always great.
Yeah, so it's a personal song. It helps me. I'm not present to be there to help that person when they're terminal, to give them comfort or to just be a friend. So from a distance, you can make a difference. And songwriting is.
It's great too, because it's, something you write and it kind of helps you like process stuff and you can be proud of it, but then it also helps somebody else who's listening to it as well too. It's a kind of symbiotic thing between you and the listener, right?
That's it. And songwriting is storytelling. So both songs are stories that connect with the listeners, or maybe with somebody else that has a loved one that's sick or not well. So for me, and of course, it's part of my wellness toolbox where I go to it when I'm not feeling right and escape, whether it's a guitar or trying to learn mandolin, harmonica, or just making a lot of racket. After 1 or 2 hour sessions, once you're carried away and you realize you're off in another world, you feel much better. You've released a lot of tension, and the cool writing part when you're writing with somebody else, whether they're a professional songwriter or somebody that's new, is another adventure on its own. It's a very intimate thing, and some of the songs that come out of it are just incredible. They're really, you don't know what you're going to get kind of thing.
I was going to ask you as well, with your program and your songwriting program with the veterans, is it often kind of a collaborative effort? Like, do they find kind of community writing together and like working on stuff, or is it more just individual?
Right now, it's a co-write with our pro songwriter, Keith Mullins from Cape Breton, and a veteran. So they'll sit down in a trailer down there and they'll put a song together, and that'll be it. They won't. No one else will come in and put anything into the song. In some of these retreats, some individuals do write their own songs along that journey, or write songs together. We're just kind of getting started on that. So, of course, you want to inspire veterans to get on that journey of songwriting, and hopefully that doing that first song. A lot of them do play instruments. A lot of the veterans I've met are absolutely incredibly talented. They just haven't drawn out on that talent and realized just how good they are.
Yeah.
And when veterans are talking to recently, said, "Vince, I wrote a song about our song camp last year. I'll play it for you when you come down." And I thought, that's so cool. That's inspiring, and that tells you that you're on the right page and what you're doing is working. You're connecting, and I can only imagine down the road what success we're going to have.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's heartwarming to hear that something that I'm so passionate about is being used to help people in such a great way. And so
exactly.
I love hearing this.
It's not about making money in this sense. It's about using it as a tool for wellness and healing.
It's about
indirectly art. If you get a hit song out of it, thumbs up. Which is possible. I mean, you know what? Some of these songs are really like really, if they're played enough on the radio, they'd be all over the place. But you need money to have them play on the radio. But they're available for people if they choose to listen or
They're out
purchase.
there on the Bandcamp and stuff too, I believe, right?
They're all on, yeah. Our 2 albums are on Bandcamp under Keith Mullins.
Right.
You can go there and download them. And our third one will be released next June once we do this summer song camp. So
I'll check that out. I think Ali wants to take the floor again. Thank you for
asking. Thanks. It's nice to meet you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much for answering those questions. We do have a couple of questions from Daniel, who is behind the camera right now. So
awesome.
Not able to actually join me and ask these questions himself, but he is operating one of our cameras. So he's one of our students here in the program, and he has questions about how long did it take you, because you mentioned that you sort of, your hearing wasn't great and you didn't start out writing songs and making music. So how long did it take you to learn guitar and songwriting?
I've been learning guitar all my life, self-taught. I was not that great at it. My first song was like, Edmund Fitzgerald in Halifax. I didn't even know how to tune the guitar, and it sounded so horrible. But I wasn't giving up on it. I kept working at it and working at it. Sometimes I leave it for a year or two, and then you get back into it. But it wasn't until like 54 years old or so that I really focused on it and wanted to truly get better. And with your frame of mind is important also. I have difficulty remembering my lyrics, so I have to keep my lyrics close to me all the time. But I don't know, it's just things fall together. You're the right time of your life, the right frame of mind, and it doesn't come without a lot of work. I probably had been spending like for a couple of years, 2 hours at least every day working on vocals and working on playing guitar better, because I do a lot of my own recording also. So it's not just it's writing my songs, singing these songs, and also recording them with other instruments. So that's another journey and a craft on its own, but they all come together. And, basically I want to be a self-sufficient musician that can write their songs and record them and get them on the radio, wherever you put them. So there's not just a songwriting part. There's a lot that comes into play, and that's getting out, interacting with people. A lot of the veterans just stay at home. You don't go out and connect with people. So that's, like an introvert. I'm already an introvert, but you've got to step up and get out there to learn and connect. If you're going to co-write with somebody or go to a songwriting camp, it's you can do some of it online, but the first time playing on live on a stage was in downtown Toronto, and I think it was Hughes Room or something along that line. It was absolutely terrifying. I think I wore a diaper that day. I was so terrified. Oh man! But it was a song that another songwriter and I wrote. So it was. You have to experience some discomfort if you want to play live in front of people, and along that journey, there's some challenges that you do have. People get frustrated with songwriting and they think, "Oh, the song's terrible. That's not getting listened to." But focus on your own wellness. You might have to write 100 songs to get one decent one.
And with all that fear and all those, that you had physical challenges, you had challenges to overcome in terms of your skill level. What is it that sparked your interest in writing your own music? Like, why music of all things?
Well, my goal was to have songwriting camps in Ontario for veterans. Before I met any other veterans, that's what my goal was, and I was going to work on my own and start busking and hopefully raise money that way to get started. So at that time was just a simple process where hopefully I could bring attention along my journey and attract others, which you meet people, and we connected with some veterans in the States also, and what it's about. A lot of things you can't do on your own. You have to have others. I tried to do it on my own. I burnt myself out. So have those that are like-minded, that are the same goals, and you can bring these programs together.
Goes back to having the right people, which is
the right people. Oh, that's key. Ones that you trust, and that's the tough part. Having people you can trust that will work with you and have the same goal in mind and not money oriented. If you're going to do it about money, forget it. Your passion has to come first with everything we do in life.
Absolutely.
right? I mean, I think we've I think we've learned all that, right? I want this big job, make all this money, I'm gonna eat steaks, and you get in this job and think, my God, I can't handle it. It's too stressful, but it pays
I
big.
think it's easier to learn when you're passionate about it too. I think that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When your heart's into it, it's like yeah, really it is. It's a motivator, that's really pushes you. For me, music's 24/7. All day, it's thinking about songwriting and engaging with different artists, engaging with producers, and learning, listening to podcasts, and just being better at the craft. And the great thing today is we have the internet, so you truly can learn so much, which we didn't have years ago. When I first started playing the guitar, I didn't even have a guitar tuner. So,
Yeah, there's so many opportunities now. So I have another student here who has some
okay.
questions about veterans shifting from a more military mindset to a more cohesive and community-based mindset. Simon?
Hello, Vince.
Hey there, how you doing, Simon?
Good. My question would be, how does skills in the military, such as discipline and having a structure, how does that translate into civilian life, where there's more choices to be made and it's all up to you?
That's a great question, because that's where a lot of individuals have difficulty, especially in the military, where, like you said, where it is so structured, where every day it's 6 a.m., 7 all of a sudden you're out, and you're transitioning from the military to civilian life, and you have all this freedom. Um, there's a lot that do go downhill and don't know what to do with that time. They end up, say, playing with video games, and sometimes drinking too much or getting into drugs. But when you do have a focus on some structure, and you're transitioning from the military, the key is to have something there. My brother, he has a business that he started. So he got out of the Canadian Armed Forces after 20 some years, and he's in the landscaping business. So he has focus. He has things that keep his mind busy. He's engaging with people. So another veteran, it may be, volunteering. So the key is to find what you're passionate about, and make sure you have that in place after the military. My dad left the military after 30 years. He went to work with disabled individuals in the school board, and Cubs and Scouts and that type of thing, which perfect environment for him. So really, that's the key. Having free time and not wasting it, and going down the rabbit hole, and try to be as productive as you can. Because it can sneak up on you quickly. Next thing you start sinking into depression, and think, oh, I'll have a few drinks, it'll make me feel better. And you're really in a tough spot. Remember, you have your family there also, so it's important to look after yourself, for yourself, but yet for your family.
Yeah, that really hit me, the part about being involved in the community. That's so important. It's better.
Yeah, it helps. But as probably know yourself, sometimes you really have to push yourself to get out there. Oh, it's easier just to stay at home and watch a movie rather than going to, say, a Legion meeting or disability channel. Oh, they've got an open house tonight. I'll sit home and watch a movie on TV instead of going to that. It's easy to get that happen, and after a while it becomes habitual and repetitive, and you just stay at home, and your mental health hurts for it. So I work hard at that, to get out, because I'm an introvert and I want to stay at home. So
Yeah, I could definitely feel that. I'm also an introvert, and
yeah,
staying at home, but because of programs like this, I have opportunity to do something else besides just play Xbox all day.
there you go. And you're under great leadership with Jay. He's an incredible person. So he's a great person to draw from and learn from, along with the whole crew you have there. Some of them I've met. So you're in the right place. Yeah, take advantage of anything that comes your way. It can really change your life. You don't know what's down the road. The road changes. That's 1 year you can be really down and out and have no future. And the next year, all these things come to play. If you put a lot of goodness out there and do good for people, it's amazing what comes back your way when you don't even expect it. And I've proven that so many times. As long as it's not for self gain, that's the key. Like volunteering and spend time at the Disability Channel, and that you just watch, these incredible rewards will come back your way just because you're doing good. at the same time, you're working on your mental health and making yourself better. So it's a win all around.
It feels good to serve in ways other than the military as well. Like,
Absolutely, yeah, and we appreciate you just taking the time today to talk to me and maybe asking your questions. It doesn't matter what question you have, ask it, because being honest and open and not sugarcoating things is the key for you and everybody else to understand really what's going on behind the scenes, where we are with wellness for veterans today and first responders. Um, you know, so we can move forward in the right direction. And I mean, everything costs money, so the key to having funds there is probably the most important with a good crew like you guys have to lead the way.
okay, thanks. I'll give it back to the next student.
Okay, thanks. Nice meeting you.
Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Next we have John.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you? What's your name?
I'm John.
John. Nice to meet you, John.
Likewise. So I was just wondering, with your experience with Veterans for Healing, were there any specific experiences or an experience that stood out to you, like in terms of somebody you were working with went through a personal healing journey that was particularly like illustrative of the purpose behind your organization? Does anything come to mind that really stands out?
Probably more of the, say, from like if we have song camp this year, see the results of that over the year into next year. So right at the moment, of course, veteran writes a song and there's tears and there's emotions and those type of things. So that's there, and that's very powerful. So that's can be life changing, but it's over that year and that to see what the veteran does for themselves with with the team that they have, their the veterans that they've met, and if they want to continue on their journey of wellness, get into music, or maybe connect a bit more, which some of them, we have a clinic we just opened in Cape Breton that'll allow a lot of veterans to come in and actually socialize more. So every month there's a veteran get together, so there'll be different events, and I'll have different doctors and that present. So that's something new that is actually going to be really helpful for a lot of the veterans coming through a song camp, and a lot of the ones joining Veterans for Healing. So we're just getting started. I mean, we just piloted the last 2 years for a program, but take it slow and steady. And people are, everybody that's come on board, the veterans have been very happy about the results, and have thoroughly enjoyed the song camps. And
because you're like a relative to, isn't that right?
Oh yeah. I mean, the experience goes back a long ways with a lot of experience, but this to get a charity program and get all the proper funding in that in place takes a long time. So this has been ongoing with Fabian Henry, our director, for many years. But every year is huge succession. We're going to hopefully have some cabins built. We have 130 acres in Cape Breton that's used for wellness, forested. It has deer and bear and huge waterfalls.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it really is. So it takes time to put those in place. And like I said, it's the funding part. Money doesn't come easy. So we have, have to work on that side of things too. So, but right now, I believe we have an incredible, solid team of individuals that are really going to move this forward. And a lot of veterans interested to come aboard too. So the next 5 years are going to be really exciting. So.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. Really exciting.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. Nice to meet you, John.
Yes, likewise. Best of luck to you, Vince.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck to your organization.
Okay, appreciate that.
And that's back to me. We do have one other student here who would prefer for me to ask her questions. So I'm just going to ask her questions. This is from Kathy.
Nice to meet you, Kathy.
Kathy, like you, is hearing impaired. So this is sort of an accommodation to have me read it. She's not actually that shy. But she is very excited to get a chance to speak to you. So she has questions about the opportunities for people returning from service and what sort of opportunities they have for things like employment.
That's a great question. On the employment side, I can't say 100%, but I know just look what the Disability Channel is doing, offering for veterans, and I think that's incredible, and we so appreciate that. The military does have some programs and that, but it's kind of a personal journey to find out what you want to do after the military. Like my brother went to college for a year to upgrade some of his skills. There's some others that have actually gone to university. We have one veteran right now becoming a psychologist. So it's unlimited. The key is to, to be healthy, have your mental wellness in check, not putting back the bottle and trying to, change your lives or doing drugs or whatever. It's just not going to work that way. So, there are things in place for veterans if they so choose to go down that road. For me, I decided to do it all on my own. I mean, I was in the military back in the 80s, so I'm one of the older guys. But for me, it's about helping the ones that, combat veterans, those that served in combat, and to make their life a little bit easier, and just based on my journey and what's happened to me, and maybe there's something there that can help them. Maybe they'll get into music, songwriting also, but it's unlimited really what you can do. As you know, with our disabilities, we set ourselves back and say we can't do it. Oh, I'm done. I've got arthritis. One day I won't be able to walk. Well, you just set yourself up for failure right there. It's so much about your mind and your way you're thinking. And I know myself, it's taken me years to change the way I think. And so, I would encourage everybody that's in the military to really work on their wellness, and at the same time trying to find their journey. So,
Right.
But we're there to help them too. And, as friends, just through talking, sometimes you can figure out what you want to do.
Peace of mind is so deeply important, like just having the tools for the mindfulness you talk about, for sure. And what about like location wise? Is this a Canada-wide program, or are you only located? Are you located in Toronto, or are there?
Well, we're working on song camps in Ontario. Like I said, a lot of it comes down to funding. We do have the people that could put it on, but we're working on the funding side of things. Veterans for Healing, from a medical standpoint, that will service veterans in the East Coast and also east of Ontario. So all of Ontario, we're not dealing with out west yet. So if they need a doctor, they need a prescription for their medication, they can all go through Veterans for Healing. As we grow next year, it'll be a little bit different. At some point we may end up opening clinics in other provinces. I spoke to Fabian last night. I said, Vince, I'm taking it slow and steady, and I'm going to do it right this time. I'm going to get everything right. So, and that's the way to do it. Fix mistakes as you go along, have quality people, and you'll have success. So that's kind of where we stand now. We'd like to offer it for all of Canada and all the United States. We did get some connection with some Marines in the States, and it's, it's challenging to bring people together and get them on the same page. But we also connect with some veterans in also in Britain and that. So there's this possibility of going international, but like I said, we just need that solid foundation first, and keep working on our song camps, and that'll come in time.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing some incredible work, and you've got some incredible plans for the future.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yes.
Yeah. I would like to ask how, because as you can see, I have a room full of dedicated people who are very invested in telling veteran stories with our platform. And so I would like to ask, from your perspective, because you are in this organization, you've already been doing that. What are some things that we should keep in mind when taking on these projects and speaking to people, so that we can be as supportive as we can and as informative as we can?
That's a great question, because us veterans are kind of a funny bunch. Some are easy to come in, some are really resistant, some don't want to talk. It's just we're a weird bunch, and you have to be honest about it. My suggestion is just continue doing what you're doing, and connect with those veterans groups like ours. And once you connect, people see it online and realize, if there's an interview here, start following. You never know, all of a sudden this program becomes available, this event, and it can connect people, like supporting the Legions, supporting the smaller veterans groups, and just interviews are great also, because they tell a story, and there's a lot of people listen to them. So that's what I would suggest with you. I mean, from a student side, like you take in Uxbridge, they have an incredible program for students there. Some of them have been to Vimy Ridge, have been to different sites in the world, where Canadians have served during war, and I go to different events up there for whether it's Remembrance Day, or they just had a parade in Port Perry, or they have different spring events and summer events. So they keep in contact with veterans through the Legion. So I said, like, all I can do is, if you want, one is to reach out to different organizations, and if you want to draw for interviews or whatever, listen, we're interested in interviewing a few veterans, and they'll probably send something back and say, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I've got a few guys lined up to be interested in that. And I don't know.
Wonderful.
That'd probably be my suggestion to you. Just support the programs that we have out there, just liking them and sharing them. It's huge. It can go a long ways. So yeah, that would be my suggestion probably.
And when we're talking about some of the mental health concerns that specifically veterans might struggle with, is there anything that you can tell us about how your organization helps to support people during those things?
Our organization now has, like I said, we have a clinic in Cape Breton and in Sydney. So we have our own psychiatrist, our own psychologist, our own doctor, and our own pain clinic, along with other supports for wellness and different events that are going on in the community. So as a veteran drop-in center, so there's always going to be new things coming in also, but we do have a solid medical foundation that veterans can be confident reaching out and getting the help that they need there, with doctors that are interested in veteran wellness, interested in PTSD, interested in the medication that we use on a natural side. A lot of us do use cannabis, which is I use it for treating my PTSD, and it's been incredible getting off a lot of those pharmaceuticals. Although pharmaceuticals are necessary, but that's your own journey to figure that out and find out what works for you. You know what? Some cases you have to be on them all your whole life, or you just go off the deep end. But be open-minded is the key, and take control of your own wellness. I guess that's the best thing out of all of this.
Yeah.
You have control over what you put in your body. Do your research, and stay on top of everything.
Yeah, it's about having choices, right? It's about having choices in terms of new employment, in terms of what your mental health care is. All of those things come down to
that's it.
Definitely. I am getting a message in our chat that says, is there a way to make a donation to Veterans for Healing? So this is where I ask you, how can we best support you guys?
All of our donations go through Veterans House Charity. So veteranshouse.ca, it's kind of the umbrella veterans group. So they're licensed through the federal government to take in donations. All you have to do is specifically say what you'd like the donation for. In our case, it would be like veteran song camps. So when they see that, they say, okay, that goes to veteran song camps for Veterans for Healing. It goes in the kitty, and when you get to a certain amount, we'll have a veteran song camp. These song camps cost about $50,000 to put on. By the time you pay for your food, by the time you rent your B&B and their transportation, and all the small things that come together, but well worth that. So every song camp we put on, as we move forward in Ontario, we know it's going to be roughly around the $50,000 mark, depending on the location. And I mean, that's the thing. So it takes a while to raise that much money, so it's everything is appreciated and be used. Like I said, it's not paying any wages. Just think that. No one's getting paid for the wages. We don't get paid for what we do. We're volunteers, and we work from the heart. We'll take calls and speak to veterans 24/7 for the rest of our lives. That's what we do in this program. The ones that are committed, like Veterans for Healing. So we'll never be paid for it. So that's, like I said, if you can't do it with the passion, especially at this point in life, like, why would I want to make money off veterans? Like, put it back in, and I mean, you can help so many people.
That is such a wonderful sentiment, and I love hearing that from people, because we're all about people and community and building something together.
Mhm.
So that's really nice to hear. Now, my final question for you is, where can we find you if we are interested in knowing more about this, if people want to help out?
I think I sent an email. I sent some links, but for me, I'm online at Facebook, Songwriting and Wellness with Veterans, and also Vince Campbell Music. But I fall under Veterans for Healing. Everything I do is for Veterans for Healing and for the veterans that are coming aboard and the ones that are present. A lot of the work I do right now and through the years is social media and Instagram and TikTok and all those platforms to get the message out what we're doing, and it's been pretty neat. Great reception, and people love to see veterans healing and not coming across in a picture where they're in a casket, going to the grave, seeing smiles instead of frowns and tears. So the public want to see that, and knows when it is in a group, it's authentic and it's genuine, and it's so rewarding just to see a smile after a song and some tears. Like, it's just, you have to be present and experience it. Like I said, it's just a spiritual experience, and it's we capture a lot of that on film too, and it'll be coming out probably in a documentary down the road. We've been working on documentary for about, I think Fabian said, at least 4 years anyway. So you might see it on Netflix. I don't know what the whole plan is. I don't always know all the inside scoop, but it'd be really cool if it would come on Netflix.
Yeah.
It would really show our journey and what we've been doing all along the past 4 or 5 years.
Amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that, because it really does sound like something.
So am I.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us.
You're so welcome.
Thank you to our
Anytime, and any question you can ask. No question is unwelcome, even the hard ones. So
thank you so much.
Anytime you need it, I'm available.
Yeah, thank you so much for your candor and your time. We really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. And for those of you who have been watching at home, this is sort of a training exercise. So you are seeing our actual students who are learning things about production and post-production and telling. We are dedicated to telling veteran stories. And if you want to learn more about that, you can find us on our website at thedisabilitychannel.ca. I've been Ali Turcotte, filling in for Jay Stoyan. Sorry, those are some very big shoes. Hope I did okay. And thanks, Vince, for joining us.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you having me here, and hopefully we can make a difference. And all of you on the Disability Channel, the ones taking this course, keep up the amazing work. You're so appreciated. And I hope to run into you physically one day. We'll be down that way one day. I'm so sure not too far down the road.
Would love to see you in person. Come down to our studio, maybe play some music.
Sounds good. I've been there. You've got a great place.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks. Take
Bye
care.
now.